What's up, everybody? Steve here. I wanted to take a minute and talk about a specific story pertaining to really lost opportunities regarding bad debt. So as a real estate broker and an owner of a real estate brokerage, I used to do all the hiring. This is where we would basically recruit and hire real estate agents for commission-based real estate positions within our organization. And pretty much during the interview process, if it was somebody that we would be interested in bringing on board, I would ask specific questions and almost personal questions pertaining to what's going on with them financially. And unfortunately, I would have to turn away people, real estate agents that had potential, but based on certain debt positions, it was hard for me to hire some of these real estate agents. And the reason is, we're in a commission-based position in terms of real estate, and anybody who comes on board to our organization is essentially a liability. And I think that sometimes if people are not making money, or they're stressed out about money, or they're stressed out about bills, it can put them into a position, especially in a commission-based position, where they're gonna maybe act irrationally, unethically, immorally, based on them trying to get that sale, trying to get them that real estate commission. So if somebody's personal overhead, personal liability was extremely high and kind of outrageous, we would have to talk through a plan of how they're going to eradicate that personal debt, that bad debt, in order for us to proceed forward. One specific example was this guy that I met, and he went to college for, I think it was some sort of like nursing background, and he's making about $65,000 a year and completely hated his job. And as we were talking further, I was like, this guy definitely, presents well, and I think he could do pretty well in the real estate industry, just based on how his mannerisms were, and really how he was answering questions, and we got along great. And I would say probably about just over an hour into the conversation, we started talking about his personal debt position. And this is kind of a common story with a lot of people. So we started talking about it, and it turns out he had roughly about $85,000 in student debt. And I did another video on Dave Ramsey's documentary called Borrowed Future. You guys want to take a look at that. It's astonishing the amount of people that are in just really bad position based on student debt. And along with that, he had about 70 grand in credit card debt. And I asked him what that was attached to, and he said medical bills. And I was like, okay, you had some issues medically. And it turns out, when I was kind of prying more and more of his medical bills, turns out the medical bills were only about 7 grand of that 70,000. And then he later on admitted that, he just was irresponsible, racked up all this credit card debt. And then we're talking more about his personal debt, personal liabilities, and it turns out he has 2 cars. He wasn't married, so it wasn't like his wife had a car. He had 2 cars, both with debt. One was about $35,000 in debt, and the other vehicle was about $50,000 in debt. And then he had a handful of other smaller bills that he had to get rid of, including other medical bills. So, I just got to the point, I was like, how are you going to pay this debt back? What's the plan? What's the strategy? And he really didn't have a plan. And unfortunately, because he had no plan for it, we kind of decided to part ways, because, I asked him what his intentions were in terms of real estate. And, real estate, this industry, you can make a lot of money if you put your head down and you grind out and you help people buy and sell real estate. and you can definitely make a lot of money in this business. And he had moderate goals. His goals were first year to make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. But that's not going to get him out of his position, his debt position. You know, if he came at us saying, you know, my goal is to make $300,000 a year, you know, I'm going to live off of, you know, $40,000. The rest of it's going to go to paying off these, all my debts. Then, you know, we probably could have talked further, but the motivation just wasn't there. The fire in his belly wasn't there to eradicate all of this bad debt, this personal debt. So why am I bringing this up to you? I think that people get themselves into personal liabilities, personal financial liabilities, and they miss opportunities because of it. And I've done other videos on this channel in terms of, you know, if you hate your job and things you can do and everything else. But you are strapped if you guys take on bad debt and you have a high cost of personal living, a high cost of living. You guys are going to be strapped to the man. You're going to be strapped to paying bills because of these poor decisions. And trust me, I've made my own poor decisions in the past, and I've learned from them. And I've realized quickly as well that you do miss a lot of opportunity if you guys are in a poor financial position based on your personal financial situation. So I quickly realized when I became debt-free, and not only the psychological freedom that I've been accustomed to over the last decade, I've had so many more opportunities open up, and it's opportunities even doing this YouTube channel, and opportunities of creating other businesses, and opportunities of spending more time with friends and family. And the amount of opportunity that you guys can achieve by keeping your personal cost of overhead as low as possible and not taking on debt for personal liabilities, you're going to create so many more opportunities for yourself. And the person, like this gentleman that I just spoke about, he has very limited options. He has very limited opportunities. And I circled back with him several months later, and unfortunately, he let his real estate license go. And he understood, he realized that he wasn't going to be able to do real estate part-time. He wasn't going to be able to quit his job that he had making $60-something thousand a year, because he couldn't take that risk. He had all of these bills stacking up against him. And I don't know where that guy sits today, whether he was forced into bankruptcy or, you know, or he's going to have these bills for forever. Or he got a better, higher paying job. I don't know, but one thing that is certain, his opportunities were limited based on his personal debt situation. And the reason for this video today is I just want you guys to learn from some of these stories, learn from even my past mistakes, because mistakes are fine. And you might be in a position where you took on, you know, car debt, and maybe you're regretting it now, or you bought too much of a house and too high of a mortgage and you're maybe regretting now, or you have a bunch of credit card debt, or whatever the case is. I do have other videos on this channel in terms of helping people achieve financial freedom, and a lot of us have to go through mistakes in life. I think that, you know, it's all part of growing and living, and I'm all about the saying, fail forward fast. And what I mean by that, and I forget where I heard it from, but in life, I don't look at failure as, you know, that's a bad thing. I look at failure as a good thing, because it means you guys are doing it. You guys are implementing. You guys are making decisions. Even if they're poor decisions, you're making decisions in life. But it's all about the failures that we have in life, that we learn from them and work from them. And if you can do that, and even right now, like I said, you might be in a position of having bad debt, learn from it, but get the hell out of it. And lastly, I want to leave you with this. I think we're coming into some uncharted territory and uncharted times with everything that's going on with government and this is not just in the United States, this is globally. And I think a lot of people are going to be in a world of hurt when all the money printing and everything else slows down or stops. And there's going to be a ton of opportunity for those people who are debt free, who have been smart keeping their personal overhead as low as possible, because you're going to have these opportunities to invest in assets when they become super cheap. You're going to be able to invest in small businesses that may be going under, or maybe there's small businesses that these people are in a world of hurt and they need a partner. Again, it's creating these opportunities because financially you guys have been smart with money, smart with personal overhead, and saving money and waiting for the opportunities that are going to come your way with different assets and different asset classes. So if you guys are in a position right now where you need to get out of personal debt, I do have other videos that I'll link down below for you guys as well to help you guys get out of debt, as well as videos on how to pay your mortgage off in a timely manner. And it can be done. And I can tell you, I went from a position of really letting everything go in terms of, you know, paying off debts, getting out of certain mortgages, that properties that I should never have bought, and basically resetting and rebooting and getting out of that stressful, indebted situation quickly. And it happened quicker than I even thought it could happen. But I put pen to paper. I had a plan. And I know you guys can do it as well if you're in a situation. Now, if you're in a situation where you're debt free and you guys are in a position where you're stressless like myself, opportunities are going to be there. And anyway, check out some of those videos I have in the links below. And if you got any value out of this, man, I appreciate a big thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Share this video if it's going to help other people out as well. And thanks a lot for being here.